to show you how to transform your rooms just by changing your window coverings. Canada's #1 choice for window coverings. Visit budgetblinds.ca today.
All right, they're RJ rocking as always. They are crazy in that building. Of course, Bonneville Pontiacs in must-win mode.
Well, you knew, down 3-2 in the series of the Spruce Grove Saints. The Yaks hoping that home ice would not disappoint for game number 6. They need them. And how about the crowd? They were into it, but so too were the Saints. Late first, Jared Helpman turns, scores, giving Spruce the 1-0 lead. We'll fast forward to the second period. Pontiac shorthanded. Steen Pashnik will spring Bobby McMahon, and he makes no mistake. We're even Stevens going to the third and final period, where the Saints would put on the pressure. 8 minutes in, Parker McKay finds Connor James. He blasts one past Troy Tremblay, 2-1. Late in the period, Pontiac's trying to bring on the extra attacker. Turns it over. James will fire it from his own blue line and scores. Second of the contest. The Wainwright Nate, a very happy 3-1 Saints. No late heroics for the Pontiacs this time, as they are eliminated from the playoffs. Spruce Grove Saints captured their 5th North Division title in 6 seasons. 3-1 the final. The Saints now await the winner of Camrose and Brooks, which will go to a 7th and deciding game Tuesday night. Meantime, the Pontiacs reflect on a season that was. Aaron Bordato has more from RJ Lalonde Arena.
A heartbreaking loss for the Bonneville Pontiacs, as after evening up their North Final series at 2 games apiece, they couldn't outlast the Spruce Grove Saints, dropping games 5 and 6 respectively to punch the Saints' ticket to the AJHL Championship Series.
All we ask of our guys is that they show up and they give it their all, and losses are disappointing, but they're more disappointing when you don't show up and you don't give it your all.
I think the guys played great tonight. We sold out last game. We put everything on the line, so it just sucks to come out on the bad end of the stick, but we threw it all out there.
The loss sparks the end of the Ponts playoff run and the end of goaltender Troy Tremblay's AJHL career, as the 20-year-old has now played his final game with the white and gold.
Troy came in and showed that he's a guy capable of being our MVP or as close to it every single night. And when you have good goaltending, they make everybody look good and make everyone feel confident, and Troy certainly delivered big time for that with our organization.
Yeah, it was a whole positive year. I mean, when I came here, no one looked at us the way we ended off. So I think, to me, that's an accomplishment.
But this doesn't spell the end of the 6'6" Phenom's hockey career, as prior to his stint in the AJ, Trombley spent 2 full seasons in the WHL, and he will now be looking to use his school eligibility next season.
I got my Western Hockey League schooling, so looking into some schools and trying to figure that out.
The Spruce Grove Saints will now await either the Camrose Kodiaks or Brooks Bandits, as the 7th and deciding game of their series goes Tuesday night. Aaron Bordato, Newcap Sports.
Well, thank you, Aaron. Moving on to the Lloydminster Bobcats. Of course, they have their sights set on the new season as they get ready to host the 2016 RBC Cup, which means Lloydminster is going to be a hotbed for players.
There was the comments up in the scout box made that, after the season, everybody's a little bit disappointed, maybe a little bit angry, and there's a bit of a cloud hanging over. But this weekend's kind of brightened things for us as far as that goes.
About 200 players were invited to the Bobcats Spring Camp. Coaches and management were identifying talent and trying to fill some key pieces to the lineup after getting knocked out of the playoffs in the second round.
We wanted to get a little bit bigger, up front especially, with some size. We're in a fortunate situation, or an interesting situation for next year with the Royal Bank Cup and returning quite a few players from last year. So definitely some guys that jumped out at us that could maybe compete for some spots next year, and definitely bring some competition to camp and kind of make maybe some of our vets realize how important it is to come in ready to go and just be a competitive camp. So it's been very good.
Now, due to the drop in oil prices and the struggling economy, the numbers weren't quite there at this year's CPCA tarp auction. But for one member, Dave Galloway, a local driver who just squeaked into the Calgary Stampede, who came in 10th in last year's CPCA finals, got a big surprise in Cowtown.
A semi-finalist from Brockton, Alberta, the Bluffton Badgers.
I didn't really have a number in mind, but you know, as the bids kept getting higher and the crowd got excited and people were clapping and cheering, and you know, I just got into it and got more excited as well. And you know, when the hammer fell, you know, at $100,000, I couldn't believe it.
At what number did you kind of start getting giddy?
About $1.
Now, Galloway's name was drawn as the last tarp to bid on, and it was his first time that he clinched a spot in the coveted GMC Rangeland Derby. Last week in Lloydminster, though, his tarp only fetched $2,500.
You know, with times being the way they were, I think the tarp sale was as good or better than can be expected. It was nice to see a lot of buyers out and people getting involved in the sale, and we're just happy that everybody sold.